That was sort of an amazing presser, right? 20 minutes off the cuff, impromptu, no notes, no podium, no teleprompter. And like you realize Joe Biden would be incapable of standing on his own for 20 minutes, let alone anything else. But for those of you who missed it, just tuning in now, I see the numbers going up a little bit. So new episode of Triggered going live in about 9 minutes.
Are you okay, Don Jr.? Are you like looking right into a spotlight, or do you have two mag lights? Like, open your eyes. But of course, I'm being too kind to him. Now, many people speculate that the studio environment that he's in apparently is not set up well if it's blinding him, but maybe it's not that. Maybe that's not why he's having so much trouble opening his eyes. And I'll remind you of the irony here. He's literally in the middle of patting himself on the back in being able to stand and just talk in a way that I guess Joe Biden, a guy who's like 40 years older than him, I guess can't do. And that's supposed to be impressive while he is completely incapable of opening his eyes to the camera.
Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait. Click join now on YouTube.
I'm not gonna say I know for sure why he's having trouble opening his eyes. I'm just saying he appears to be having trouble. Waz, what are your thoughts?
I would be shocked if in that room there wasn't some of the finest Johnny Walker Blue that, America could offer. Or, I don't want to cast any aspersions on the guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some prescription situations happening over there, because he just presented just the awkward, yeah, man, it's Joe Biden, man. He can't even stand straight, man. It's like, bruh, I've seen that look, but it was at 2:30 a.m. and we were at a bar in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Was it Don Jr. that was at that bar actually?
No, it wasn't Don Jr., some different finance bros, but you get the picture.
I get the picture actually. Now look, I personally, I am, I guess, outside of the mainstream and thinking that the vast majority of drugs should be legalized, perhaps regulated. People should be educated about them, but I don't think that we should be locking people up for some of these drugs. So I'm not like trying to judge the guy if he, as allegations have been made, is a consumer of the fine substances this earth has that it produces for us. It's the lies, it's the hypocrisy, it's the refusing to own up to it, while at the same time being part of a Republican Party that is attempting to demonize Hunter Biden and the Biden family for doing the same things that Don Jr., a case could be made, maybe is doing. And much more importantly, we know thanks to Madison Cawthorn, many of the people in the Republican side of the aisle are doing. They're doing these substances. But Hunter Biden's the bad guy because he once did a line and had sex or whatever. It's just like, just decide what your morals are supposed to be. And if other people are, have the same vices as you, try to own up to that. Or if you're not willing to go public and own up to it, at least don't use it as a cudgel to beat them over the head. It's the fakeness of it. That's what I don't like about it. I don't have that much interest in Don Jr. or what he's done with his life. I think it's genuinely weird that a guy that theoretically is this like titan of industry and has hundreds of millions of dollars, instead his highest aspiration in life is to do literally the thing that I'm doing right now. My dad ran a printing press and I host a show like this. You were born into incredible wealth, Don Jr., and you just want to do the pre-port like I do. That's so weird. You can do literally anything you want, buddy. And that's what he wants to do. That
and the craziest thing, John, is that his freaking brother-in-law used that 4 years in the White House to peddle influence, and he got $2 billion out of it from the Saudis. 2 billion with a B, folks.
Yep.
Yeah, Jared Kushner might be one of the slimiest operators we've ever seen, but man, that dude did not waste any time with his seat in power.
Yeah, 100%. Look, like he was not qualified to do the vast majority of the jobs that they tried to give him while he was in the White House. But if it's just like cashing in, he apparently is quite good at that. Better than either of Donald Trump's adult fail sons combined. In any event, it's possible that we're just being too harsh on Don Jr. That said, theoretically, this is not a one of. Let's roll some video.
We teach to the lowest common denominator. failing anyone who had a chance beyond that. We pretend that everything is great and fine because we can't acknowledge anymore that people are screwed up. It's not really the night, it was 4 a.m., so it's early in the morning or whatever it was, right? They're mad that Republicans are taking a page out of their playbook. What is the difference? Joe Biden secretly flying illegals all over the country into places that are sanctuary. No problem, nothing to see here, folks. Show up to Nantucket, that's a little bit different. And then I give an impassioned speech and they're like, oh, Don Jr.'s on coke.
That's a great mashup. Thank you, team, for putting that together. Also, did you notice? Why is Don Jr. sound like at all times he's doing an impersonation of Don Jr.? It's a very weird thing. Just be yourself, man. Why don't you have any confidence? Look, he's been beaten down his whole life, I'm sure, emotionally and verbally by his awful father. So I have no doubt that that's been trouble for him, and maybe that explains some of his vices later in life, but it just doesn't make for compelling watching at the very least.